Okay, we're gonna get started because we have a lot to talk about and I wanna hurry up and get this done so that we can all get to work and earn more points for this trip because this whole team's going on this trip. So this Zoom is mainly gonna be about overcoming objections because I know a lot of us have a lot of people that we're talking to, potential customers and distributors about the business or products, but they have different objections. And a lot of people have been asking us how to reply or how to respond to different things. So we are going to go over some of the main ones. Of course, if you guys think of anything else, you can put it in the chat as we go through this, and we'll make sure to cover it at the end of this. So we're just going to jump right into this, and Stephanie and I are both going to touch on each thing, our tips on it, because we've pretty much heard every single excuse in the books about everything. So we definitely know how to respond and what definitely works. So the first thing we're going to talk about is 3 months. So some people might have pushback on the loyal customer program to buy a product every month for 3 months. And I definitely have had this come up. Has anyone else struggled with this? Yeah. So my best advice with this is if you explain it like it's the best thing ever, it's the best deal, it's the best program, it is the best discount, like you're getting the best bang for your buck. If you explain it like that and you firmly believe that, then you are not going to have any pushback. They're just going to say, okay. So the way that I explain it, and I know I've shared it with most of you, is in an excited way that explains it like, oh my gosh, this is the best deal ever. I can't believe you're going to get to try at least one product a month for 3 months. It can be anything you want. You can change it up if you want to. And you're going to get my discount for life on all the products. Like if you explain it like you're excited for them, they are going to have no pushback. I swear, since I've been using this script which Stephanie, do you have it? I can put it in the chat if I
can take care of it, the chat.
Okay. She's going to put it in the chat. So if you don't have this, copy it or screenshot it so that you have it, the description. But literally, since I've been describing the loyal customer program like this, I literally never get anyone that questions it. Everybody says okay. So you guys, number one, need to be confident that this is the best program because it is. Why is it so great? Because they're getting a discounted price. They get the same price as us. That's awesome. There's not a lot of companies that will do that. There's not a lot of companies that will give customers the same pricing as distributors. So that's awesome. Number two, we are going to get them on a product or multiple products for 3 months. That means they're going to see the best results possible. If someone tries Thermophyte for 1 month and maybe lost a couple pounds or didn't see the best results, if they just stop after 1 month, then they're going to be like, it didn't work. But if they keep going for month 2 and month 3 and overall they lost 10 pounds, I think they're going to be happy with their results. So a lot of people just want a quick fix or something to happen for them instantly, but this is avoiding that. This is getting people on products for 3 months so that they get the best results possible. I know my results. I lost 45 pounds in a little over 4 months. If I would have stopped after 1 month, I would have been disappointed, right? But since I kept going and I was consistent all the months, I lost all that weight. So no matter, I know I need to take mine too. So no matter what the product is, the best results come with multiple months, and that's why we do that. And the other great thing about it is they can switch the product up. So if they are drinking the coffee and they absolutely can't stand it, you've offered them multiple ways to try it, you've given them tips and tricks on how to drink it, and they just don't like it, and say, okay, no problem, let's just switch it to something else. Get them on the celery, get them on TFX, figure out if they're cheating on their diet a lot, if they do, or if they eat a lot of carbs, have them get fat fighters, get them on a cleanse. So this is also about you guys staying in touch with your customers and making sure they're happy with what they have. If they're not happy, have them change it to something else. Because at the end of the 3 months, we want them to keep ordering. And I can't tell you how many customers I have that have been ordering for 6 months, 10 months, over a year, 2 years. I still have a couple people that have been ordering since the day I started. And that's because I've been really good at talking to them. How are you liking your products? What are you using? I've gotten them to fall in love with the products like I'm in love with them. So now they use them every day and they don't want to ever miss a day without them. So they're going to use them for life. So they're a customer for life. So that's money for life. So you guys, this program is really, really good. So you need to be excited about it for them and not be like, so it's 3 months. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to buy 1 product a month. I know it sucks, but if you talk about it like that, nobody's going to want to do it. It all is in your attitude. So if you're like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing deal, you're going to get at least 1 thing for 3 months that gives you the best results possible. You can switch it up if you want to. It can be 1 thing, it can be 5 things, whatever you want to do. This is going to give you the best outcome. They're going to want to do it. So those are my tips on if someone's having pushback with 3 months. I would just make sure you're explaining it to them in a good way and just come back with, we do it this way because we want you to get the best results. Then they're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Do you have anything else, Steph?
Not on that. Nope.
Perfect. Do you want to talk about?
Yep, I'll go into the next thing.
Perfect.
So the next thing that we want to talk about is people saying that they don't have money for the products. Or even for the business, but I'm going to mostly touch on people who don't have money for the products. And you know what, guys, you're going to come across that. Like, there's a reason why you're in this business is because you couldn't afford. Most people that join this business couldn't afford the products or lived a lifestyle where they couldn't afford that extra. So my biggest thing is, 1, don't push it. If they say that they don't have the money, say, okay, when do you think you will? That's not a weird question. That is a genuine, nice question to ask them. Okay, you can't order now. When do you think you can order? And I will save you one of those discounted spots. And then you put that person in your calendar and you follow up with them, okay? That's one way to approach it. The other way is that I feel like for people saying that they don't have money, a lot of the time it could come back to you not adding value to the product. If you are not adding value, if you are not talking about these products like they are gold and sharing them on your story and sharing them on your page and showing people results to this, they're not going to see the value in it. So they aren't going to want to spend their money because they don't see the value. So honestly, the biggest way that I would just overcome the money objection for the product side of things is just ask them when they think they will be able to afford it. And if you put them down on their calendar, if they say they're gonna, they can order it on Friday or next Friday or 2 months from now, you put them on your calendar and you continue to follow up with them and you're continuing to post and interact with them in the time between when you talk to them and when you're supposed to follow up with them. If you're continuing to interact with them, they're going to continue to see your post about you talking about this product, and it's going to continue to add value to that product, so they're going to want it. If you are on your story every day talking about the coffee and people are watching it, they are going to try it. You guys, I don't care what it is, or even if somebody doesn't even want to lose weight, if they see something every day, they are going to try it. I personally, the one I always use for an example is the dang Lange wand. Okay, you know, the hair wand, right? I didn't need a freaking hair wand. I didn't even curl my hair. And I saw this freaking hair curler that everybody talked amazing about. And I saw this girl posting about it day in and day out. And you know what I said? I said, I need to have that freaking wand. And you know what? I don't even use it. But if you add value to that every single day and you are talking about it, it is going to do the follow-up for you. It is going to add value for you. So when you are talking to somebody and you give them the price and they just say, I don't have, if somebody tells you that they don't have the money right now, don't take them off your follow-up list. Okay, don't, because they will have the money eventually. The reason they are saying that they don't have the money right now is because they don't see the value in the product. As soon as you can show them what this product really does and show them the value of the product, they will find the money. Because honestly, our products are not that expensive. They're very competitively priced. So just make sure that you are following up them and adding that belief to the products. So that's all I have for money objection product wise.
I agree. Also, if you are talking to them like about the coffee and they're like, that's a lot for coffee, you can say, okay, well, if you bought a cup of coffee at Starbucks every day, it would be this much compared to ours at this much. And then they're like, oh, because when someone's like $3.50, $4, $5 for a coffee, they're just like, whatever, $3, $4, whatever. But then over a month's time, if you added that up for them and said, well, if you bought Starbucks every day for a month, it would be this much. So ours is way cheaper and it helps you. So you're getting a better deal. So some people need you to like compare that for them. And then also I was going to say, get their payday. Like that is my key thing. Like when you say, okay, is there a better day for you? Like I always say that. I'm always like, okay, I can lock in your discount for another day. What day works best? And I 9 times out of 10 get them to tell me, oh, I get paid on Friday or I get paid on the 21st. And if they tell you they get paid on Friday, they should go up on your follow-up list for every other Friday until they order or they tell you no. If they tell you absolutely not, I'm not interested anymore, then I'll take them off my list. But if I keep following up and they haven't responded to me, it's because they can't afford it. That's why. It's not because they're not interested, it's because they can't afford it anymore or they can't afford it right now. So you gotta keep following up.
And also when we do have some sort of deal, maybe they couldn't afford it X amount of times that you followed up, but then when we do have some sort of deal, they're still on your follow-up list so you can follow up with them. And honestly, if I followed up with somebody 3 or 4 times and they're still telling me that they can't afford the products, I say, okay, let's get you to make an extra income so that way you can earn money and use the products. So don't care that people say that they can't afford it. Keep following up with them. And by the 3rd or 4th follow-up, be like, girl, you need to try this business. Because I have talked to you for 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months or whatever, and you keep saying that you can't afford it. What if I could teach you how to earn an extra income and try these products? And honestly, a lot of the time they're sold on it by that point because they've already established the fact that they can't afford it. So they're not like shying away from it. Honestly, the only time I really am just like, oh, whatever about people that it's when I first message them and we don't even give them product information and they're like, oh, I can't afford it. That just simply means that they're not interested. And that's fine. You just move on. But if you're continuing to have a conversation with somebody and they're continuing to say that they can't afford it, then just keep following up with them. They will come through. I signed a customer yesterday and I've been following up with her for like 6 months. And you know what? I didn't even have to message her yesterday. She finally was just like, oh my gosh, I found a little room in my payday. I want to get my hands on this coffee. That was like her exact message. So she was just waiting until she could afford it. And that's fine, you guys. You're going to need customers this month and you're going to need customers in 6 months. So don't get discouraged if somebody says that they can't afford it. Just put them on your list, whatever follow-up system you have, and just make sure that you keep following up with them, keep interacting with them, and keep that conversation going.
Yeah, I just shared my script on here for what I say to people when they say they just like can't afford it. So I say, have you ever considered doing what I do and making money on social media? You can do it on the side and it doesn't take a lot of time and you can make some extra money so that you could say yes to more things and get to try these products out. I would love to tell you more if you're interested at all. And a lot of people are like, actually, yeah, that sounds awesome. So if they're like, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, send that message. Change it around to them being a potential distributor. I can't tell you like How many people have told me, oh, I can't afford the coffee, and then they turn around and sign up as a distributor, and I'm like, $99 is more than a month of coffee. Like, they didn't have money for coffee, but they have money to start their business. So you can't decide that for them. So always tell them about the opportunity. If they're like, I just can't afford it, like I'm living paycheck to paycheck, hello, that's like a light bulb in my head where like, you need this business. Let's change that. So don't stop if someone just isn't, if they're not responding, whatever, keep following up. Because like she said, they'll come around. It might not be this month, but they'll come around eventually, and you're always going to want customers. So keep talking to them. And another great thing she said, like if we have a deal or a promotion, so we just launched pumpkin spice coffee. I went and followed up with every single person that I've ever talked to about coffee and told them about the pumpkin spice. I had one girl order on the spot, and I had another girl tell me, yes, on Friday I'm getting paid, and I love pumpkin spice. That's my favorite coffee. There I go. That's like, click, she's going to order. She really, really wants it, and now it's a priority. And then the Mocha Dreams deal. If you don't know what that is, go look up the video in our group. But I offer that deal too, especially at month end. I'll go follow up with all my new potentials about the coffee, and I'll say, hey, I have a deal for you today. Gives you 52% off of it, saves you $100 on the bundle. Do you want to try it? And that you can sign them up for the Mocha Dreams deal. So make sure you're doing these different things and don't stop following up. That's the biggest thing. Okay, next is we're gonna like move into more like distributor things. So we're gonna do talking about if you're talking to a distributor and like, I just don't have the time, I'm a busy person. I always say, perfect. This business is made for busy people. You know, you can, if you are a busy person, you should relate to them and tell them how you work your business in your busy life. If you literally don't do anything all day and you sit down and just like work this business for 10 hours a day, which none of you do, then you can't relate to them. But all of us can relate. We're all moms or college students, or we work full time, or we have 3 jobs, or we have a spouse. We have stuff going on in our lives, right? So we can tell them how we're busy too, and we fit it in and it works with our schedule. So for me personally, I always tell them, well, I started this as a college student and I was able to fit it in between my busy schedule of classes and clinicals. So I know you can do it because I always needed a little bit of a study break. And this was something to get my mind off of school. Then I was working full time and was able to fit this in a little bit after work and a little bit on my lunch break. And that's actually how I built it up to the full-time income I have now. And now, of course, my life's different, but I say I'm a busy mom and I have a lot going on, but I still have been able to fit it into my schedule. So you guys can relate this to your schedule, relate it to what you're doing, and tell them, well, I'm doing all of this and I'm pretty busy and I can make it work. So we can work with you on your schedule and figure it out. It doesn't take 8 hours a day to be successful. If you can honestly find an hour, maybe 2 hours, then that's spread out through the entire day, then we can make it work and we'll get you to your goal. So you guys gotta like lay it out there as simple as possible, because people get overwhelmed if you're like, well, you're gonna need to be able to do it for 4 hours a day. You're gonna need to get on Power Hours and do this and this. Like, don't say all that. Don't overcomplicate it. Just say if you have an hour to 2 hours a day, divide it up, we can make it work. And that's like 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 10 minutes before bed. You can work with people on their schedules. This is not, there's no boss. You don't clock in and out. So if anyone says it's a time thing, tell them, perfect. This is literally made for busy people. So you'll fit right in. That's my biggest tips with that.
I literally built my business at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, that was my time, because I was a bartender. I was a mom during the day, and I would go to work. I would have to drop my son off. I would go to work. And so I literally built my business when I got off work at, 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. And that is what completely built me to Emerald, to be able to quit my job. So time is not, I mean, it's not a thing. It's honestly just a fear people have. Leanne used to work 10 hours in an operating room every single day, and she built herself to double diamond before she quit her job. So time is like just an excuse. And a lot of the time people think that they have to have all this time, and that's not true. Like, this is my full-time income. This is what I support my family with. And I don't work this 10 hours a day. I mean, I have 2 kids. I sit at home and I fit this. I shouldn't say I sit at home. I mother 2 children that are everywhere. And I fit this into the little nooks and crannies of my day. And I tell people that, like, I am not glued to my phone, and I have been completely able to make this work. There are people in the top of the company that have 5, 6 kids, work 2 jobs. Like, time is just an excuse, and a lot of people just have fear of actually joining and actually taking that next step, so they say that they don't have time. You know, I talk to people that are like, oh, I work, so I don't have time. And I'm like, you work from 9 to 5, so you have, you know, a whole, like, nether 10 hours. Like, really? You don't have time? You can't work from 5 to 6, you can't put in a little bit of work? Like, people make time for what they find important. And I know that, like, it's scary for especially people that have 2 or 3 jobs. I get that, how you can be overwhelmed, but honestly, if you just think about it, like, okay, I'm going to put in 15 minutes here, and you might not see the value of it at first, but as you start putting your belief in the company and putting your belief in yourself, you will find the time. Because I never thought that I would have the time, or I never thought that I would make this what it is now. But as soon as I found my belief in the company is when I was like, I don't even have to find the time. I just make the time. Like, it's not even a question of like, am I going to work today? Like, I just out of habit do it because I know what it can do for my family. I know what it can do for everybody else on here. And as soon as you get in and get that belief system going, you will find the time. But as far as overcoming the objections part of it, just tell, like, busy people, like exactly what Leanne said, busy people get stuff done. Did you have anything else to add, Leanne, or should I?
I think that you guys just also need to believe it yourself. All of these objections, if you're still fighting them yourself, no, you're not going to convince anybody else or be able to explain it for them to understand. So if you're like, man, I'm too busy to work this, like, I'm just too busy, I'm not even getting anywhere because I just don't put any time into it, other people are going to see that and they're not going to believe you. So you have to get over that objection yourself, because I know a lot of us in this business have struggled with that, and I struggled with it for a while. But like Stephanie said, last year, I built myself literally from a distributor where all of you, well, most of you are at a distributor, all the way up to double diamond, top 1% of the company, making $4,000 to $5,000 a month. I did that while working full time in the operating room, my hands in people's bodies, gloved up, mask on, no phone for 10 hours a day. And, you know, and I still did it. I commuted 2+ hours a day. I was pregnant and exhausted and sick, and I didn't care because I wanted this. I wanted to be able to leave my job, or I wanted to be able to buy a house. I have goals like a lot of us do. So I just didn't let excuses get in the way. So if you guys have to have that belief in yourself and say, every day I can find an hour to work my business, and that just shows that I'm a busy person and I can make it work. If you believe that, then you're going to be able to explain it properly to other people. But if you don't even believe it yourself, nobody's going to believe you, and you're not going to get anywhere. So you have to just believe it, and then you'll be able to explain it, and people will be like, okay, I get it. And they'll trust you.
Yeah. Also, what you're putting out on social media has a lot to do with it too. If you are like I try to make this post like a couple times a week, or I make it on my story about how I am working this business out with my kids, or how I'm working this business in the little nooks and crannies of my day. So a lot of times that objection is already overcame before they even come to me, because I put it out there that I work this business after my kids go to bed. I work this business I used to work in between jobs. If you are putting that out there, if you're showing people like, oh, I'm in the grocery store line and I just signed a customer. Oh, I'm, in line in carpool and I just signed a customer. Oh, I'm at the park with my kids and I'm talking to 3 ladies about joining my team. You will overcome that objection before you even get it. I honestly don't get the time objection a whole lot. The next thing that I'm going to go into is something that I don't really entertain. Like if someone wants to say this to me, I'm not really going to entertain it very much. I'm going to shut it down right away. And that's when somebody says it's an MLM or it's a pyramid scheme. They're not into MLMs, things like that. The first thing I ask them right away when they say, oh, that's a pyramid scheme, I will ask them, okay, what is a pyramid scheme? Straight out. Like I ask them, because people say it's a pyramid scheme, but they have no idea what a pyramid scheme actually is. So if you just shut that down as soon as they even ask it, first off, pyramid schemes are illegal. So like for that, that's why I just don't even entertain them talking about that, because it's illegal. We are a huge company. We have been around for 18 years. If we were illegal, we wouldn't be being featured in Forbes magazine. We wouldn't be almost $1 billion company. We wouldn't have these amazing products. We pay taxes. We all make a legal income. Pyramid schemes are illegal. And so I go and explain that to them. So the definition of a pyramid scheme is somebody that invests into something without getting something in return. So what that basically means is they're investing into a company expecting to get a profit from the company without receiving anything. We are a product-based company. If somebody puts their money into us, they're getting products. That's what they're buying. They're not buying something that isn't true, that isn't going to come to them, that isn't a physical object. So pyramid schemes are completely illegal. So I just shut that down right away. And if they say, well, I'm not really into MLMs, you're not into multi-level marketing, so you like to support big chain companies and instead of supporting somebody that's trying to support their family. And I will just say that right out of the gate. If they say something like, why would you even want, like, people that have those kind of objections, they don't know what they're actually talking about. They don't understand it. So I try to inform them and show them, like, okay, do you even know like what MLM means? It's a multi-level marketing. We are no different than any other company out there. The only difference between us and big chain companies is we pay people. We are multi-level. So we pay us instead of paying employees. Instead of Target getting the big buck, we're paying the moms, the college students, things like that. So honestly, for people to even say things like, I don't want to be a part of that or anything like that, like they're just ignorant and they have no idea what they're talking about. So a lot of time I just don't even entertain it. Okay, fine. You want to keep saying it's a pyramid scheme? Cool. Guess what? I don't pay my bills with Monopoly money. And I tell people that, like, this roof over my head, my brand new car sitting in my garage, it's not paid with Monopoly money. So it is real. Sorry. I pay taxes. We pay a lot of taxes. A lot of taxes. So I just shut that down right away. I don't know. Do you got anything more to that, Leanne? Because I feel like there's not a whole lot as far as just.
Yeah. No, that's like a common, well, I don't think it's that common, but I do get it every once in a while. And the biggest thing is just educating them on what this is, because people just don't know. They've heard it. They've just heard the words pyramid scheme. So they just think that anyone trying to sell anything is a pyramid scheme. And they don't even know what pyramid scheme is. So I usually am like, nope, actually, I don't know if you know this, but they're illegal. And we've been around for 18 years. We're a real company with real products, and we pay taxes and all that jazz. So we're actually a real company. In case you didn't realize that, I wouldn't be trying to scam you or anything. Like, this is how I support my family. And people are usually like, oh, geez, I didn't realize that. Or, oh, I didn't know. You know, they don't know. They don't mean to like come off like that. So,
yeah. Or even having them like Google pyramid scheme.
Yeah. Yeah, I've even Googled it and sent it to somebody, the definition.
Right.
And then I also, like, if they still are like, well, what? And I'm like, Well, did you know that every company is a pyramid?
Mm-hmm.
Every single company has a CEO, and then it has branches off, branches off. You know, there's managers, there's store managers, there's whatever. Then there's just the employees. Like every company has a pyramid structure, but the best part about our company is you can go to the top and make your own pyramid. You can pass the people above you in your pyramid. All of you can pass us. You can outrank us. You can go up to ambassador before us. Doesn't matter. You can make your own pyramid. So every company is like a pyramid. So that's how we usually explain it. Okay, so the next thing, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to touch on one thing. If you explain to them, like, as distributors, we don't make any money. Like, me and Leanne are double diamonds. We're in the top 1% of the company. We don't make any money off of you guys unless we are training you guys and helping you guys. So we don't get to just get on top and then just sit there and say, oh, guess what? I have this huge team, so I'm not going to do anything ever again. Not true. We have to show up every single day. We basically have to match, if not do more than anybody underneath of us. And that's, a lot of people think that if you get into a company like this, you make it to the top and then you don't do anything again. That's not true. I mean, Leanne and I, we enroll more than anybody on this team, and we're the leaders of this team. We don't just sit at top and don't do anything. Like, that's totally not true. And so I just explained to people, like, if you're going to join me, partner with me, I'm not going to make anything off of you unless I help you. And that's why people think a pyramid scheme is not the place to be, because there's other companies where people try to get them in and they make all this recruitment bonuses and all these things, and then they just leave them high and dry. Well, that's not the case. Like, we are going to help you and be here for you every step of the way. So I just reinsure that to them. And that typically helps with that.
Yeah, definitely. Joel and Stephanie Dunn are the #1 income earners, and they are literally always on the top enroller list. They out enroll everybody, and they're at the top. They honestly could stop and just sit pretty. Like,
they say that. They're like, we could stop and never do. We'd still be making $100,000 a month if we never enrolled in it.
So much money. They could stop, but they aren't willing to do that. They want to work and continue. They want to stay at the top. They want to keep changing more lives. Like, this is far more past about them, and it's more about all the other people they're helping. But that just goes to show, like, everybody is working. Everyone keeps going. You don't just get to the top and chill. Okay, the next thing is, well, I'm not a salesperson. And I love this one because I'm not a salesperson. Stephanie's not a salesperson. We are not salespeople. I don't just, like, go to work and say, like, to a car dealership and be like, okay, I'm going to go sell some cars today. Like, no, I say, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk about this coffee, and I'm going to share about the products that have helped me personally. I'm going to share how it's helped my friends and help my team and help my customers. My customers are going to send me results. They're going to talk about how it's helped them, and I'm going to just tell everybody about it because it's changing lives. So we are influencers, you guys. We are brand ambassadors for this company. We are product influencers. You can be an influencer for everything. If you look on Instagram, there's people influencing about fashion, about traveling, about all sorts of stuff. You can see their pretty Instagrams. The difference between us and them is we get paid a whole lot more money than them. They get paid like this much, and we get paid like this much. So all you have to do is talk about the products. It definitely helps if you're using them. You're using them, sharing your own results, sharing you physically using them, pictures of you with them. Like, that is going to sell. People buy people. They don't buy products. They buy you. So I always say, well, that's fine. I'm not a salesperson either. I just talk about the products that I love. And before I even tried them, I was able to share my team's results. And that helped me take my business, get it off the ground and running before I got the products in my hand. That's all I say. And people are like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, I actually joined and I never tried a product, but my friends in the business had already tried them and had awesome results. So I shared their results for a while, and that got me going until I had my own. And That's the honest truth, because I never tried a product. But Stephanie had amazing rep results. Some of our other friends in the company had amazing results with the cleanse and with different hair, skin, and nails. So I used their results and I just talked about it. And then people were like interested, and it was that easy. And I signed up customers before I even had my kit. So you don't have to be a salesperson. You just have to be willing to share about them. That's all. And yeah, the conversations that you're having, you're going to learn how to like word things better and how to explain things and talk about prices in a better way. You'll learn how to do that. You'll learn how to communicate better. Because I think that's the biggest problem is people are like, well, I don't know what to say. And that's fine. You don't need to know what to say. You're going to have my help the whole way. And we're going to get you going, and I'll train you on how to do this. And then you'll be able to do it no problem by yourself.
And if you keep the scripts in your phone, like this is more for not new people because you're not going to tell them like that. But for people that are new that have already signed up, like if you keep all the scripts in your phone, like I don't even type up pricing. I just have it in my phone. So I never have to think about how much something costs because I just type in my phone in text replacement and send it to them. So if you're just keeping the scripts and following them, like you shouldn't have any problem with conversations because literally we lay them out for you step by step.
Yep.
Okay, I will go into the next thing. Big following. People think that they can't join this business because they don't have a big following. Well, what I tell them is just basically, I didn't even have an Instagram before I started. Like I didn't even have an Instagram account before I started. And I built myself up to Emerald without even having an Instagram. And then after Emerald, from Emerald to Diamond to Double Diamond is when I really got into Instagram. And you can choose how you work this business. In the beginning, you aren't using social media. I mean, you are, but a lot of brand new enrollments are from family and friends. So I just tell them that I'm going to teach them how to build a following. Like it's super simple. And I will teach them how to build relationships and network. And I explain this is network marketing. So I'm going to show you how to network, interact with people, and grow your following. And generally they're like, oh, okay, I thought I would have to start with a big following. No, misconception. Like you don't have to have a big following to start. That's something that comes as you go. That's all I have for that. That's pretty basic.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I just say, that's fine. I started with nothing. It's easy to learn how to do. I'll train you on everything. And that usually takes care of it. So, and then it's your job from there when they start to actually make sure you're teaching them how to follow people and get follow backs and grow their network. So it doesn't end there. You need to keep going and talk to them and train them. But that's how I address it too. Okay, the next thing is, well, I don't want to be annoying or spammy. And I'm like, well, then don't be. That's what I say. I'm like, well, don't be. And I always say this, you guys, I'm like, oh, do you think I'm annoying? And people are like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't mean it like that. And I'm like, okay, well, you would be no different. You wouldn't be annoying. I'm not going to train you to be annoying or spammy. If you look at my page, you can't even tell that I sell anything. Like it's just my life on there. And we do this. We're just influencers and we just share about the products that we love and people buy from us. So we're not being annoying. It's honestly would be selfish of me not to share about this because the products have helped me so much. They've helped so many people on my team. So many of my customers have like helped hundreds of people. So it'd be selfish of me not to share this or the business because the business has totally changed my life too. And if you guys don't have amazing results or like a ton of money, you can say, you know, just be selfish because I've seen what it can do for so many people and I want that for other people too. You can just say that. You don't have to say that it's personally like you've lost 1 million pounds if you have nothing to lose. You can say, well, it's helped so many other people. So it would be selfish of me not to share about it and talk about it. So I'm not being annoying. I'm just talking about the things I love. Just like you like to talk about the movie you went to, the restaurant you ate at, the clothes you bought. We all are advertising for someone, somehow, somewhere. You might as well get paid for it. That's pretty much how I explain that.
Correct. Yep. Same thing. So I'm going to move into don't have the money and don't want to lose money. We already kind of touched on this a little bit, but generally I don't want to lose money part of it, I just explained to them, it's actually basically put out there in when we explain pricing to them. We can drop that in the chat of how we explain pricing, but we just tell them, like, yes, it's $99 to start. That is way better than most other companies. And that's true. If you were to go join another company, a lot of them are hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. If you were to open up a restaurant, you're going to spend like thousands of dollars to open your restaurant. So I just go back to adding the value of the kit before I even overcome that objection. I tell them, it's $99 to start. You're going to get $120 worth of free product in your kit. A lot of these people join wanting the products. So they're excited that they're going to get $120 in free products for $99. And then I also explain that they get $100. They get $100 of free products after they get their first 4 loyal customers. And then, I don't know where Leanne just went. I don't know what happened. Whatever, we'll just keep going. And so I just explained that right out of the gate. They get things in their kit. And then going back to the don't have money to start, I simply just add value to it. Like, people will find money for what they find that's important. If they don't think that it's important, they're not going to find the money for it. And if you just add value from the very beginning, you're not going to overcome these objections. My biggest thing too is in all of this, in my scripts, like, I don't want to call them scripts, in what I'm saying from the very beginning, I'm already overcoming these objections before they even give them to me. So I'm just going to read you a couple of the things that I say when I'm having a conversation with a potential. Let me pull up okay, so first out of the gate, I'm telling them what we do, and then I will go in and tell them what it's done for me. I get, so excited to tell you more about it. I've been doing it for over 4 years now. I love it. It's a lot of fun. So many friends, such great training. So you're telling people like they're going to make friends. I don't know about you guys, if you guys haven't already made friends, but I have a lot of great friends in this business. So I'm adding value to that for the people that want the relationships. Such great training. So you're overcoming the objection where people think that they are not going to know how to do this, because you're telling them before they even ask, they're getting trainings. I get to help so many people, and the pay is awesome once you get it going. And then I talk a little bit about what it's done for me. And then at the end, I ask, are you on social media a lot already? 1 second. And they will come back and say, yes, no, whatever it is. And I will just say, perfect, because I do everything on social media. I love that because, oh, Leanne's power went out. I'm surprised mine didn't go out. Anyways, I say perfect because I do everything on social media. I love that because it's so easy to fit into a busy schedule. So before we were talking about the objection of not having time, I'm overcoming that objection before they even tell me that they don't have time. And then I say fit into a busy schedule. I don't know about you, but I don't have many friends, so I can reach people all over the world from my phone. So that overcomes the objection of not having a big following. So like I said, I'm overcoming all this stuff before they're even messaging me back. I did this around my full-time job, and now that I have 2 kids, it makes it so much easier than going to a full-time job. So that I'm overcoming the time objection. So if you were just overcoming all these objections in your conversation before they even can come back to you, they're not even going to think about that. They're not even going to think, oh, I don't have time, because you just told them that they are going to have time and you're going to teach them how to have time. And then I talk about how we have an awesome team, we have trainings, things like that. So does anybody have any questions or anything to add about overcoming objections? Nope. Hold on. Okay, well, I am so stinking excited. I'm going to wrap this up because we want to keep it short so people can watch for the replay. If you guys have any questions, also in the team page is how we talk to potential distributors. So if you just search, I think it's like DT combos or something like that in the search bar, you can find how we talk to potential distributors, things like that. Also, if you are screenshotting your conversations and sending them to your enroller, they can help you. Okay, so I hope you guys have an awesome night. I'm gonna wrap this up and we will everybody get back to work and get some points for this tropical vacation. We are so excited. Love you guys all. Happy Sunday.
Okay, I can't keep watching this. I'm sorry. Yeah, this chick is really pisses me off. I skipped through her.